Boys, girls, gents, and lads, welcome back to another video. Today, we're just going to be breaking down this tier list that I saw on Twitter. It's going to be from this guy right here, Heroic Sketch, in the Marvel Rivals community. And I just want to break it down because I just was scrolling Twitter and I saw it. And usually this isn't something that I would do, but I kind of just want to give my opinion on it because I think it's interesting, and I think I'm not going to be doing this with every tier list I see, don't worry, but I think it's interesting because there are so many people, myself included, out there who have made tier lists on the game and obviously have different feelings about it. And even just talking to my friends, we all kind of feel differently about different characters, and it's really interesting to see a game like this, tier lists in a game like this. So I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention and have myself talk about it, and then you guys can let me know in the comments what you think about his takes, what you think about my takes, and we can kind of just talk about it and see what we agree on. With that being said, we're just going to be starting from top to bottom. So he has categories as meta, in no order, the best in class, good, with no changes needed, usable, need quality of life buffs, below average, need minor buffs, and dog shite, need major buffs. So again, we're just going to be starting from top to bottom. So in meta, he has Luna Snow, Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, Doctor Strange, Magneto, and Storm. Honestly, this one I think is pretty accurate. I don't think any of these really need to be moved. Luna Snow is by far the best character in the game, really. Mantis, one of the best healers. Cloak and Dagger, you cannot do without. Invisible Woman, I think, could go down to good, no changes. But I honestly think what I've kind of noticed with this game, which is crazy because it hasn't even been out officially for 2 months, what I've kind of noticed with this game is, and this is kind of redundant to say, like it's kind of a no-duh, but obviously the better people are at the character, the better they will play. And again, I know that's kind of stupid to say out loud, but Invisible Woman is a perfect example in the sense that I think she's still new enough to where people really haven't mastered her. You know what I mean? People have mastered all of these characters, but I don't think people have really mastered Invisible Woman, at least not in the lobbies that I'm playing in. With that said, I think she could go down to good. I don't think she's OP by any means, which seems to be the case in this top. I don't think she's, you know, the healer, especially compared to the other three in this category. Her ult is really good. Her abilities are really good. I just don't think they have been put to use in a way that allots her space in the meta category. So personally, I disagree with that one. I think she should go down to good with no changes, but they have them in meta. Next up is going to be Doctor Strange and Magneto. I think these are perfectly fit. Doctor Strange obviously is by far, but Magneto I think is kind of in the same realm as Invisible Woman on the opposite spectrum. I think he's one of those characters that, you know, previously was kind of like, oh, this dude's buns, but I think people have kind of started to figure out, you know, wait, Magneto's cracked. The survivability is insane, the damage output is insane, you know, the push ability is insane, so definitely belongs up there. And Storm, obviously with her buff this season, she for sure belongs up there. The things you can do, the damage boosts you give your teammates, the movement boosts, everything that you can do alone, what you can do with your ult, how quickly she gets her ult, by far currently the best duelist in the game. Moving on to the most full tier that he has, which is going to be the good with no changes needed. Now I'm going to try to speed through this. I don't want this to be too long of a video, but I'm just kind of going to try to single out the characters that I think don't belong here and, you know, might belong in a different category. Most of these I think are fine. I honestly didn't see anything other than the HP change on Hela, but she really has not been as big of a problem this season, so I think she's fine. Honestly, she's annoying if you are going against a good one, but again, people have kind of figured out how to counter her better, so yeah, I think she's fine. I don't think she needs a change. Same for Hawkeye. He hasn't really been as big of an issue. I think because of the bans, I think people are honestly just practicing these characters less, so even in the lower, you know, ranks, you're not running into them as much just because people really don't want to play them. Loki obviously is great. Psylocke is great. I've seen some people complain about her ult, but to really counterable ult, you either move. I think there's certain tweaks that need to be made. I think, you know, if you're out of her circle, even if you were in it as she was hitting someone else and you jump out, the second you're out of her AoE of her ult, I don't think you should be allowed to be hit. But other than that, I think she's a pretty balanced character. Namor, extremely balanced. Hulk is a great character. Iron Man, Star-Lord, Groot. Moon Knight, I think his ult got buffed a little too much. I think they changed too much too quickly. I think his ult for sure needed a buff. I don't think it needed to be buffed as much as it was. It did not need a bigger AoE. The talons themselves did not need more AoE. I still think one of the things that they needed to change from the beginning was visibility. I think if you're in the dead center of the ult, now it doesn't matter because it does an insane amount of damage, but I still need to be able to know where that ult is. I think depending on the lighting in certain maps, it is extremely hard to see where the ult is placed unless you're outside of it, which is kind of redundant. So I think he definitely needs some tweaks, but he definitely is a good character and belongs in that tier. Squirgle, I think, is fine. Her ult got buffed, but hers was one that kind of needed it. You know what I mean? I think maybe it should be a little easier to destroy, but that's just me. Magic is great. Wolverine is great. Adam Warlock is great. Winter Soldier, Punisher, Thor. I think those guys are all exactly where they need to be. Moving on to the next category is going to be usable, needs quality of life buffs. Now, looking at this, I really don't see anything that I would change, honestly. I think these are all pretty accurate. These are all characters that are kind of in the same tier. I think he absolutely nailed this one. I might move Black Widow to below average, but that's, again, she's kind of in that Invisible Woman category. I think just not enough good people play her, to put it. You can definitely do good as Black Widow. I just think, there's certain times where she's not viable, and that's majority of the time. But everybody else in this category, I would say, is pretty good. Moving on to the bottom two tiers, we have the below average, which is going to be Jeff. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that doesn't need explaining. And I think this is interesting, is every single character in this game could be put in S tier given the right player. There are people out that, and that's why I love this game too. I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here. I apologize in advance, but that's why I love this game too, is it's a Marvel game. So there's a handful of people out there who literally get in here and they pick their favorite character and they just grind them out. And because of that, they end up being the best in the world at that character. Some people sure don't care, don't give two rats asses that it's Marvel and they just pick a person and whatever, they're good at video games. But Jeff is a perfect example. There are plenty of people out there who are insane Jeff players, like, which sounds stupid, it's Jeff, but they're real, like they're actually insane at the game. So with that being said, yes, I think he belongs in the below average category, but all of the characters in this list, put in the right hands, can be the best in the game at what they do, which is kind of crazy, because going from game to game, it's like that's what's crazy about it's all game experience. Like some of these tier lists, some people may completely disagree with this tier list just for the sole purpose that, their games, their mantises sucked, or they were getting crapped on by Iron Fist, whatever the case may be. But that's what's really interesting about this game. And moving on to dog shite. This is why I wanted to talk about this tier list, because he kind of said that he was joking with this, but not really. It's really interesting to see some of these characters below here. With that said, I want to get this out of the way. Scarlet Witch being in dog shite, valid. Okay, no, we're not even going to go there. Yeah, she belongs down here. But Iron Fist and Spider-Man, put in the right hands, they're kind of like a Jeff. I mean, given the right person and the right handler, they can be extremely good characters. However, the thing that was made clear, and I think he says it right here, yeah, you're putting in 1,000 times the work for far less the reward of someone like Panther or Magic. That is extremely interesting because it's valid. Personally, I wouldn't put Spider-Man, or Iron Fist for that matter, in the bottom of the barrel tier like Scarlet Witch. But at the same time, when you put it in that light and you view it as something as, okay, Spider-Man's great, and, if you have a really good player, you can be a really good Spider-Man, but, you're doing, like you said, 1,000 times the work for far less output. Yes, I can play Spider-Man, and I can learn all the one-shot combos, and I can swing, and I can do this. But, if they have a Hela who looks up, boom, I'm two-tapped. You know what I mean? Whereas I can sit with Punisher on a turret and do far less work and a lot more damage. So it's really interesting to kind of talk about it, because it is one of those things that, do you want to play your favorite character? Do you want to get good? Or do you want to do the easy, do you want to do like the most efficient strategy to kind of succeed? So I just wanted to bring this tier list to your guys' attention. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you agree with him? Do you agree with what I said about his list? Let me know what you guys think. Give me a rough draft of what your tier list would look like. I will see you boys in the next video. I was gonna say goodbye. Don't say my goat's trash like that, bro. Spider-Man's cool.